Let's go to Manhattan and talk to Omar. What's up, Omar?
Dr. Delony, how are you?
Partying, man. What are you up to? That's not true. I'm at work. What's up, man?
I'm off from work today. I took a couple of days off. I'm about to take my daughter to a water park for little celebration of her finishing school this last Friday.
Dude, Dad of the Year, man. Way to go. That's awesome.
Well, give it a couple minutes. Let's see how you're feeling about 12 minutes.
All right, let's do it. Go for it.
All right, man. My wife, deceased wife, we couldn't conceive, so she.
Whoa, you just blew by that. Your wife passed away?
Yeah, a long time ago, like 7 years ago. Yeah, we were married for 9 years. She could never conceive, so we did uterine surgery, 3 cycles of IVF, postpartum depression, modulation of progesterone and estrogen all over the place. She had a friend who adopted a little girl from China. Guess where this is going? We start the process, and 18 months later, we bring home beautiful little 26-month-old, our daughter. And then 3 weeks later, she gets a nosebleed, doesn't stop, computerized tomography. 9 days later, it's already stage 2. Within 9 months, she goes to be with the Lord. So this was back in 2016. So
hold on. I need a minute. You may not need a minute. I need a minute.
I've had years. I've had years, Dr. Delony.
I know, but you talk so fast through it. I know you're also running on string and duct tape too, bro.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Her name was Bonnie.
Bonnie?
And
she amazing?
Yeah. And she was gorgeous, beautiful. She loved Christ. I met her in church. I mean, she was
she funny?
Thin, tall, green eyes, hilarious. She was wonderful.
Did she put up with your nonsense? Remembering.
Yeah. So she's sainthood, I believe. And I think the purpose of the call is predicated on the image and ideology I have, sir, of living in a way to honor her life through my parenting.
Okay.
You with me?
I'm with you.
So I am an accountant. I had just passed the CPA exam. I was working in the city and then stopped everything to take care of her. And then after she passed, never thinking I would have to cash a life insurance check, but I didn't have to go to work. So a mentor of mine told me about a fantastic job as an auditor for the state in the Department of Education with 35 hours, very good, close, edging on 6 figures. But the point is, like, 40 days off a year, no nights, no weekends. So I guess the point of my question is, how do I not resent myself and the career trajectory I have in like this 18-year slog, 16-year slog of like just sacrificing everything to make these good choices for my daughter? Do you know what I mean? I could go on. There's lots of details. I super funded her 529. It's, God willing, it'll pay for medical school or dental school or business school or in wherever she wants to go.
Hey, Omar. Hey.
Yes, sir.
You've done real well.
Thank you.
No. I'm not blowing smoke at you. Your shoulders are up around your jawbone right now. I can feel them. Drop them real low. You've done a real good job.
Thank you, sir.
That little girl won the cosmic lottery getting you as her dad.
Well, you haven't heard the jokes. I mean,
I know.
I think I'm funny, but I appreciate that.
No, the whole thing, right? And I'm like you. I laugh at inappropriate times, and if you're not laughing at this point, I don't know how you stay sane, right?
I do.
What's your ethnicity, Omar?
Jordanian. My mom was from Germany, and my father was Jordanian.
Okay, hold on. So you've got a Germanic Jordanian walking hand in hand with a young Chinese girl down Manhattan.
Yes.
Totally normal, dude. Totally normal.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the whole thing.
Man.
Listen. You have done so good. So good.
Thank you.
Now,
Yeah.
Now listen. two things that are super common when we lose somebody we love, especially over the long haul. Number one, many of us don't have the tools for that. I know all the textbooks, all the whatever. If my wife passed away tomorrow, I can honestly tell you I don't know where I would start.
You'd get the grace you need.
I know you do. I know you do. But you know where I would end up? I can almost already tell you. I would work like a maniac. And I would try to make sure every variable in my kid's life was sealed up and buttoned up. Because my body would be saying, okay, you're the last one, you're the last one, you're the last one. What about you? What about you? And I would dedicate my life to buttoning up every variable. You've done that. The second thing that's really hard is you're constantly looking at this beautiful little girl, but that was y'all's dream.
Yes. Yeah.
And so every day is a constant reminder of y'all's dream. And it's really hard to live in the present when every day is kind of got these glimpses of the past with us, right?
Yeah, I tried to fight moving, because we bought this starter condo and I paid it off after she passed. So I'm debt free, baby step 7. And I didn't want to transplant or buy a big house with a $3,000 a month mortgage payment, sir, because then I knew I'd have to work more. And that precludes my time with her. Life skills, discipleship, all that.
Okay, hold on.
And
If you work 90 hours a week and you made $1 million, okay, let's do this thought experiment. You work 90 hours a week. You become one of the top, over the last 15 years or 7 years, you become one of the top accountants in Manhattan. Everybody goes to Omar. Everybody trusts that guy. He's a good guy. He knows where every last loophole is, but he's a high person of integrity. Everybody goes to Omar. And you make about $1 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
That money would be for what?
What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul?
What would that money give you? Yeah. It would give you the opportunity. Hold on, but it does give you an opportunity to take care of your daughter, to create safety for your daughter, or the illusion of, to at least have her health care funded and her med school funded if that's what she wants to do. It would provide you some cushion for when the world hits you in the mouth, which it will. Right? So
it has.
Yeah, it has. Well, I mean, it took an arm and a leg, actually. I mean, you got it more than just a nose punch. But when it comes for you. So I'm not one of these guys that's like, man, why do you work hard and make money? No, it's a great buffer on the world. But you've been able to accomplish it also. Here's my question for you. 7 years in, how old's this little girl? 9 months? 9 years? 9 years old?
Oh, she's 10. She just finished 4th grade Friday.
10 years old.
Yeah.
10 years old. You funded her college education through med school. You've got you owe no money. You've got a great, stable job, if you want to call the state of New York's government stable. Okay? Are you being haunted by the question, is this enough?
Well, I was writing my thoughts down before and waiting for, you were talking with the other lady, Emily, I believe. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, when do I realize a point of satiety in that college, private school, 529, time with her?
You have to do the hardest part that you've probably done it, but it's going to be real hard.
I'm looking forward to her meeting you. We're coming, God willing, to Smart Conference.
Oh, in Chicago? Excellent, man.
Yeah.
We'll get you backstage. Stay on the line, and we'll get you backstage. You can meet everybody, but I would love to have you there.
Nice.
Okay?
Yeah. And I'm going to bring her. I want to intentionally bring her.
Excellent.
So that she gets exposed to all the great personalities. As great as they could be, other than you.
I was waiting for you to say it, but good for you. All right. Here's what she needs more than anything else right now.
Yeah.
She needs her dad.
Yeah.
And there's not a good. I can count money in a bank account. I can count baby steps if I'm a part of the Ramsey Pay Off Your Debt plan. I can count dollars in a life insurance payout. It's hard to count. This morning when I asked my daughter to stop doing something and she kept doing it, and I asked her to stop, but she kept doing it, and she dumped water all over the back of my leg, and she dropped water all over the floor. And then 30 seconds later, I went over and I was making my breakfast, and I said, hey, will you come over here and crack these eggs for me? And letting her help was a little glimpse of redemption for her. And it would have been way faster for me to crack my own eggs this morning. But I asked her to come help me. And I asked her to clean up the water that she had spilled. And I bent down and I looked her right in the eyes and I said, thank you for helping me with my breakfast. I'm really grateful. And then she rolled her eyes almost out the back of her head like a 7-year-old, and she walked off. There is no metric for that. But you know what that little girl knows at the cellular level? Her dad loves her. And so behind...
Do you think I'm biased? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Are you biased about what?
Do you think I'm biased because I grew up without a father? So I'm trying to not only catch up and honor my deceased wife, but also subconsciously be the dad I never had.
I'm sure that's a bunch of it, but I also think, imagine you got a job at an accounting firm and no one would show you what a prepared tax return looks like.
DMS, I'd get fired.
They just yell at you, like, go prepare taxes. And you're like, what does it look like? And they're like, go prepare taxes. Yeah. And then you got on Instagram, there's like all these beefcakes, and then there's idiots, and there's moron. Like, you are carving a path through the jungle with a machete, and there is no path for you because you didn't have a dad. And so every step along the way, you're having to look to the right or left to see if this is the right way we're supposed to be going. And my fear for you is you're going to have done all the right things, and you're going to have missed an opportunity to really get to know this beautiful, precious little girl.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I know.
That's the purpose of the call. Yeah.
That's what I want to tell you. You've done it, man. You've done it.
Well, thanks.
It's amazing. What you are giving your daughter is a real-time picture of what it looks like when all the planes in the world get set on fire overnight. And you're giving your child a real-time picture of what grinding it out over the long haul, making about 1/3 of your quote-unquote market value in service of this precious little girl. And that's really hard when she's like, oh my gosh, Dad, you don't let me do anything, right? That's super annoying, right? And I can imagine that it would be easier to be thinking about an accelerated tax season than talking about periods in the next couple of years. Or talking about, like, all that's on you, man. That's all going to be coming.
Yeah.
And the more you put in the relationship equity on this side of the hard conversations, of the dating, of the being a teenager, and the taking a subway by yourself, all those things, which are tiny little rituals that are just y'all's. You've probably heard me on this show say every Tuesday of my life, I go to breakfast at Waffle House with my son. I don't miss those days. I just don't. And if at the rare moment I have to, because I'm out of town at a speaking event or something, we make it up that same week. But just in the last few weeks, we've had some conversations that would not have been possible had we not tilled the soil for the last 2 years. And so I want you to look around and say, exhale really deeply. Omar, well done.
Yeah, I think sometimes I wait for Christ to say that. So when people say it, I on my own, in my own thoughts, I think you don't know. You don't know what I've been through.
I know, but listen to me.
But and I'm not implying that for you.
No. I know. People confuse me with Christ all the time. I'm just kidding. Nobody ever does. Nobody ever does. But listen, and this is important. I remember a speaker, and I have this image. It's burned in my mind. It's one of the few times that I walked away. It was a before and after moment for me. And I believe it was in Haiti, but maybe Rwanda. It was one of the two. And anyway, there was just devastation and devastation, and some missionaries showed up, and they were trying to be do-gooders, and like a weekend kind of thing, and they were going on a tour where there was just a mass slaughter of people, and there was a monument to the slaughter, and there was a pastor there, and one of the people asked the pastor, "How do you still believe in God and see all this?" And the pastor's response changed the way I live my life. He said, "Oh, man, I stopped asking a long time ago, where is God? And I started asking, where are God's people?"
Exactly.
And often, when you ask for a sign, it shows up in a neighbor. When you ask for words, you ask for, will you speak to me? Some idiot on a podcast, right? It's in the homeless person when you walk out off your stoop. It's in the bus driver as they smile to you. It's in the Uber driver there downtown. It's in your exhausted boss. It's in that little girl. And so you can white knuckle, you can hold a fist so tight so that this never happens again, because you've been through the worst of the worst of the worst. You held the love of your life's hand as she left. Or you can open your hand and say, come what may, here we go.
Yeah.
I've taken care of my daughter. We're good. She's good. And now we're going to spend days at the water park like today. We're going to spend days at the park. We're going to spend days laughing and going to see plays. And we're going to spend days serving the poor. We're going to spend days building core memories so that little girl never for a second doubts if her daddy loves her.
We're going, God willing, in 3 weeks to Athens on a short-term missions trip.
There you go.
I'm so excited.
It's awesome.
Yeah, for discipleship, to show her, hey, not everybody goes to a private school.
And also,
yeah.
Hey, your daddy loves you.
Well, I got her passport. Yeah, I mean, I know that.
You keep talking about achievements. Listen.
Can you blame me?
Yes, I can. I can. Gosh, teaching relationships to accountants is the worst. Listen, so you can't 10 key this one, but I'm going to give you a 10 key thing for it, okay? Yeah, there is no equal sum algorithm on this one. All right, here we go.
I'm solving for peace, man. I'm solving for peace.
Okay, every day of your life, twice a day, morning and evening, say, can I give you a special dad hug? And she's going to say, what's that, Dad? Yeah. And it's when you put your hands on the side of her face and hold it. And she's probably brilliant like her old man. And you can tell her some weird podcast guy told me that this helps. And look her dead in her eyes and say, I am so grateful that God picked me to be your daddy.
You're wise, because that's the gravus tissue on the cheeks and
that's
on the palms.
Exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yes,
there's a lot of neuroscience behind it, but
yes.
I leave that to the Hubermans and the Tias of the world. But listen.
Very good. Yes, that's right.
Put your hands on her face twice a day and look her in the eye and let her know every single day you are so grateful that you get to be her dad and she gets to be your daughter. You've done all the stuff, all the metrics. You've done all those things. You got her passport. Good for you. I want you to cherish and love the relationship. Know her. And I know your body's going to really fight you on it, man, because you did that once. And the world took her. It's hard. And it's real, real scary, Omar. But you're in it. You're in it. Go all in. She won the lottery getting you as her dad, Omar.